begin the meeting tonight with the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome everybody to tonight's meeting and thank you for coming. Could I have a motion to approve the village board meeting minutes from August 15th, 2024?
Motion.
Second.
Any corrections or anything? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we have something special this evening. And I'm going to turn it over to the chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Would you kindly join me
Sure.
down here? I would ask our newest police officer, Jasmine Stevenson, to come forward and join us up here for her swearing-in ceremony, please.
I should have won it.
She's got you covered, Mayor.
Okay.
We're very glad that Jasmine's joining our organization. She's going to start the police academy with the sheriff's office on Monday. She's a graduate of Jordan Elbridge High School as well as Lemoyne College, which she graduated in 3 years. And she's going to be more than likely working the evening or overnight shift once she's out of the academy and off her field training. But that's several months down the road. And we're looking forward to her new perspective and younger generation moving into the organization. So without any further ado, I would ask you to face me and raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Jasmine Stevenson,
I, Jasmine Stevenson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully perform the duties
and I will faithfully perform the duties
of the office of police officer
of the office of police officer
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go. Welcome aboard.
Short recess, Mayor.
Yep, now there's cake.
We do a cake. We have to make sure our family gets a picture of the cake before it's cut and get a chance to meet everyone.
Thank you.
So please everybody partake.
This is Jasmine,
Back to it.
trustee Eric Reinickle.
Nice to meet you. Congratulations.
Trustee Shepard, he's our chairperson of the Public Safety Committee. Trustee O'Donnell.
Nice to meet you.
Happy to meet you.
Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Trustees, how are you? Welcome aboard. Thank you.
Collins.
How are you? How are you?
Congratulations.
Thank you. Not an answer on, but
There's a quiz afterwards.
don't worry about it. Hey, if you graduated,
We got other things to do.
everyone over there.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, I guess we're done with the cake. It left. So we move on to public comments. Is there anyone out there other than Mary Ann who's on here?
On the agenda.
Yes. Is there anyone else who'd like to make a comment?
I have a question, I guess. Does that work?
To the mic.
All right.
Maybe.
Hello, I'm Brian Burmeister, 66 Oswego Street. Quick question, just follow up to actually DPW.
The board.
The board.
That's what you have to do, Brian.
And whoever's taking over for DPW. So I have a weird tree saga that is partly finished, but not completed. So last fall, after a number of times asking for a tree to be planted on, in my blank section of the road, I finally prevailed and they said, yeah, okay, great. I said, well, I'd love to get a catawba tree, or people call them cigar trees. But anyway, they said, yeah, no problem, this and that. It was agreed to that because I didn't want it carved out for the power lines, that we would plant it on my property, which is, I guess, something you guys can now do. So that's fine. All went well. In fall, they came, they planted. And I said, now you're sure this is the catawba tree? This is the catawba tree, right? And I said, do you have a tag that was on the tree? They assured me multiple times. Fast forward, so of course it was bare. There weren't any leaves until the spring, and sure enough, it was not a catawba tree. So they already have removed the wrong one, but I still have heard nothing about actually getting the right one.
I recommend Brian to go buy one. It isn't, the village isn't going to go out and buy individual specific requested trees. That's,
Well,
in the
I understand that, and I wouldn't care, but then they should have said there never was a tree that they could have gotten anyway. They should have given me a list of trees to choose from.
and we're developing that list.
How would you not know what trees you're gonna do? I mean, to me, it seems like there's probably 10, 12 trees you usually do, right?
I negate some of the trees. But
Okay, all right, well, I will probably end up doing that. I'm not here to make a stink. If there was a way to make that right for the future, that would be great. And then, I guess, are you interim? You're not interim, DPW or anybody? No.
Chuck is
Oh, Chuck's still
still.
interim, okay, all right. How is the search going then for his replacement?
just fine. We're not going to address personnel stuff in public.
Okay, I mean, is there a timeline set up for it, or?
We hope to have a replacement in place by mid-October.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? Yes, sir.
Hey, good evening. I'm Dan O'Hara, and I just wanted to
Dan,
address the
give us your
board.
address.
Oh, 56 Edgewood Drive, sorry. I just want to address the board on a couple of issues. The first is, I want to thank all of you. The baskets, the flowers in the village are phenomenal. I run the trail system and I drive around the village a lot. They're very well kept. I know you've had partnerships with the Women's Club, the Chamber, and other folks, and a compliment to all of you. I think it really brightens up the village, and that's important to keep them maintained. The next issue I just want to talk quickly about are the trail systems. They're beautiful. I run them a lot. I'm starting to see more people use them. I would give a suggestion that maybe we think going forward about some type of signage. I often run the trail behind St. Mary's, and I run down to Community Alliance Park, and I see some elderly folks. Of course, I'm getting into that bracket. And if somebody were to fall, probably the quickest thing I would say is behind St. Mary's Church, the trail. And I know, Mayor, we've talked and you're considering doing that, so I appreciate that. Thank you. The other is, on Saturday, Mayor, with your approval and the board's blessing, Saturday the 21st, I've got a group of volunteers that want to go down to the Sergei Yevich Trail behind the old Town of Lysander building where the post office is. And I talked with the post office supervisors, and they're going to grant us access in behind there because it's just all overgrown and it's not, the characteristic of the trail doesn't look right. So we're going to go in and weed whack and cut some limbs down, and I would ask the support of the village to bring a truck down that day, have it there that Saturday so we can throw the debris in the truck. And you're all welcome to come down. We'll probably do it, weather dependent, from about 10 o'clock to noon.
Okay. We'll have to have the clerk double check on whether there's a truck, because of the
Available.
park
Sure.
program.
Sure.
Make sure there's one available.
Sure, if not, we'll figure out Plan B, but that would be helpful if that was available. The other is, I know that there's different projects, construction projects underway in the village. And one of the things that the mayor and I have talked about, and I really appreciate him taking my phone calls, if you could take the helicopter ride and look down upon the village and see where these developments are going, envision trail systems leading from those places to the center of downtown. That would be very helpful. You have to be creative, you have to be willing and energetic to do some things differently. You're never going to please everybody, but in the end, it works out for the benefit of the majority. And I think that's important. I'm glad to help. I know there's some grant monies available out there. I've told the mayor, I was fortunate when I was mayor, I had folks like Sergey Yevich, and I can name 20 others that helped me get a lot of the grant money that we needed, and were able to, they were better minds than I had. They were creative, they were architects, they were engineers, they were artists. I used all of those resources to help continue to move the village forward. You guys have done a great job. I want to be here to help support it. There's others in the community, so just let us know when and where we can help. Thank you.
Dan, you're one of those
Well said.
resources.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before you depart, I want to get the attorney's opinion on liability stuff in terms of weed whackers are one thing. When you said cutting limbs, are you bringing chainsaws?
No, because the post office was very gracious to allow us, and we're going to have to logistically work with some of the workers who park their vehicles on that back fence line. So we'll work through that, but no, we're not going to do anything that is going to put us in harm's way, and it's essentially their property.
Right.
I
And
just-
volunteering, and I just want to make sure
Yeah.
our bases are covered.
Yeah, I mean, it's not on our property. It's-
Very good. Where would we put the truck?
The truck will run the fence line, near the fence line of the
But they're going to park it probably on a Friday
yeah.
before.
I'll come down and work that out with the village clerk and the DPW supervisor to make sure that everything is appropriate.
Okay. Very good. Appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else? I'm staring at you, Sally.
I'm working on some things. but
Okay.
You'll be excited.
Okay. Then we're going to move on to Mary Ann Williams.
Mary Ann Williams, Greater Baldwinsville Chamber of Commerce. We're asking the mayor and the chief of police to sign letters of support for the New York State Liquor Authority to issue a waiver of the liquor license requirement to allow more than 4. We have Angry Garlic, for Taste of Evil on September 21st, noon to 10 p.m. We have Angry Garlic, WT Brews, Strigo Vineyards, Anheuser-Busch, San Miguel Mexican Bar and Grill, and Lot 1 Distilling, who will be serving alcohol that day.
Is the applicant for the State Liquor Authority the chamber on behalf of all of these entities, or do they all have to get their own?
We submit, I think it's landlord authorization forms
Yep.
to be signed, and then the 2 letters, and then we submit it as a group.
Okay, all right.
Same thing we did last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
every year, so
Yeah,
we just
I
have to
just-
formally ask for that. That's what I'm doing.
I was reading the motion, and the motion just says to allow the Taste of Evil event, and I just wanted to confirm who the applicant for the actual liquor authority was going to be.
Thank you.
Item C talks about signing these things.
Yeah, yep.
And the clerk asked me to stop in the morning and sign a bunch of them. So,
Okay.
do we need, our action will occur down
Yeah.
there? Okay, thank you. And Jim Dale's not attending.
That's correct.
Are you filling in for Jim?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Then we'll move on to trustees' comments. Going to start on the left side of things tonight.
I'll stay with the agenda tonight.
Okay.
The agenda's fine with me, 2 things.
I would like to add an item to the agenda, a motion to reduce the sewer bill for the residents at 54 Brown Street for an excessive amount of water that did not go into the sewer in the last quarter. So I'm proposing we give them a credit of $139.35 to their sewer bill.
going to be item H.
Thank you. And the second thing I wanted to mention is, I think everyone is aware that we have an election coming up. And specific to election signs, just want to remind residents that village code dictates that election signs can only be up for 30 days prior to the date of the election. So that's early November something is the election. I don't know, I'm not good at this stuff, but whatever 30 days prior to that is in October, that's when your election signs should be going up. And then an additional reminder that your election signs should not be close to the road. They need to be out of the right-of-way, which is typically on your side of the sidewalk.
And please vote.
And please vote, of course. If you choose, hopefully, I can't tell people to vote. I can encourage them, but anyway, that's all I have.
Okay. Trustee Seco.
I will stick with the agenda. Thank you.
Okay. Nate?
Agenda, it's fine.
I have nothing else.
Okay, this is back to me. I wanted to make two quick little announcements. One is we have openings for alternates on both the zoning board and the planning board. An alternate participates as a full member of the board, except if the full board is present when a vote is taken, the alternate can't vote. If there's someone missing, which is often the case because people have schedules, the alternate steps in and does vote. So if anybody's interested in either of those boards and in that capacity, if you please get a hold of the mayor's office or the clerk's office and we'll chat. The last thing, and I thought there might be somebody here from Little League, so I don't know if I'm letting something out of the bag that I shouldn't, but Little League is looking at upgrading, they're constantly looking to upgrade their facility, and they're looking to upgrade some of the lighting from halogen to LEDs, which will provide some cost savings in the long run. And they've secured funding for one of the fields from Senator May's office. And I won't mention dollars because they're not here, but part of the senator's request was, in as much as that is a village property, they want the grant to go through the village. So I've talked to the treasurer as to whether we want to do that, and he said we can. So when it all comes to play, and we all know with the state, it often takes time for these things to mature and come our way. So, but a positive thing for our community in any case. Other than that, I'm going to stick to the agenda. I'm not.
Yeah, executive session.
Oh.
You said you were going to call.
Item 5 is an executive session regarding personnel. Now I'm going to stick to the agenda? Okay. It helps to have clerks. Move on to our attorney.
I'll stick with the agenda.
Okay. And to the village clerk.
I will stick to the agenda.
Mr. Treasurer.
Real quick, just a couple things. The email cutover is moving along. It's a little deeper of a project, I think, than John thought. So, but it is still going forward. So, you should get something soon, and we'll probably send something out to the whole village staff to let them know that there should not be any major interruption or anything like that. With your agenda tonight, you got an update on the NY class. Where we are with that, we've been with them for exactly a year now, roughly a year, and the performance has been pretty good. I would expect, just listening to the business news, that it may start to diminish a little bit as we go to the election and then pass the election. That's just economics. So hopefully we'll do as well as we've been doing, but just to be on your watch that may change. You also have a list, it's on the agenda to authorize the credit card users. I spelled Renee's last name incorrectly. I will give Jody a corrected copy of that. That's a cardinal sin for somebody who comes from a newspaper family. My father is rolling over in his grave. And then you also have budget modifications to be considered, and I'm available for questions when you get to that part on the agenda. So.
Renee with a misspelled name.
Well, first off, I want to thank the Baldwinsville Rotary Club. We had a wonderful picnic for the seniors yesterday. It had a wonderful turnout, probably 80 to 85 seniors. So that was a great event sponsored by the Rotary, and we appreciate everything that they did for us. For us, our other upcoming event this month is going to be September 26th, which is the Walk for the Woods. We do that annually, so this will be again this year, hoping for good weather, but we are doing it rain or shine at 4 o'clock. So if everybody could join us, we would greatly appreciate it. It would help for your support. And that's it for me.
How is your new employee working?
Our new employee is working out very well. He stepped into the role wonderfully, and he's taking the reins, which is very nice for me. So I appreciate the fact that you accepted and appointed him, and I look forward to working in the future with him closer. So
I'm hoping that, like Mike brought on a youthful police officer, it's a much younger face over there.
yes.
That he might have some new ideas and
Actually,
develop programs with the...
It's very funny to see how a lot of the seniors have already accepted him and are coming to him with different things and different ideas, and they're opening up. So it's very nice to see that, and I'm hoping for a lot of change. That's
And I
my
hear he
goal.
might be a pretty good pool player.
He's a decent pool player, yes, definitely. And
Little Birdie might have told me that.
a lot of the little ladies are trying to get him to play cards. You know, they've invited him to play bridge, and you know, he's learned how to play pitch in the last week, so he's learning well. We're very happy to have him.
Hey, Chief, I think the mayor just called you old.
With good reason.
We had the conversation out of the parking lot.
He doesn't remember though.
No, I will say, before we came over here, I was talking with Jasmine and Lieutenant Lockwood, and she said that her grandparents were here, and the lieutenant said, yeah, they're the same age as you. So I then asked her if she had met Officer Lockwood, so, you know.
Okay, we'll move on to DPW.
A couple things that Bob can probably help out on is our security project going on with all the water plants, and the DPW building itself has had no progress. I believe you've been in contact with their
Yeah,
lawyer.
I'll get back to him. It's supposed to do something next week.
Okay.
Yeah, we were supposed to do something next week for like the last 4
No, I know.
weeks.
I reach out to him frequently, so I saw those emails. I'll do that again.
As well as our fluoride grant and our fluoride project, there's still $62,000 left in the grant money. The grant's expiring at the end of September. Greg hasn't done anything yet. We're looking to put an extension in for it. I don't know how long that's going to take though. Paving has been going on for 2 weeks now. I'm sure a lot of people have called and complained about roads being shut down, but by the early next week it should be over with. The last thing they're paving is the park at McCary Park on Canton Street. The project for the painting at the museum, the Shacksboro Museum, has been awarded to About Painting. That's supposed to start next week. And for the rest of that, I'll just stick to the agenda.
Yard waste.
Oh, yard waste. Yes. Yard waste, after paving is finished up early next week, they will be back on yard waste.
And I believe Chuck mentioned to me that they will likely start the every week cycle again as opposed to the twice a month.
I believe that's
Because we are getting into the fall
September
season,
15th, I believe, is usually right around the middle of
Yep.
September.
Yep, so,
And they're hoping to finish the paving this week, but they may be here Monday.
I believe it's going to go into Monday.
I think it will too.
Yeah.
Because they've got Walnut, Cassie, and over on this side, and then
Yeah, Lock Street,
down to Lock.
Upper Margaret,
Yeah.
and Tabor still to do.
So they start running around town.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to the chief.
Just school obviously has started, that has begun. I would ask everyone to please pay attention throughout the village and everywhere for school buses. Give them the right of way. Obviously, when the red lights are flashing, every year it seems like there's an incident where a vehicle tries to pass a stopped school bus, and that makes the news and the media, and obviously the danger and the potential for injury that presents. Our school resource officer staff is back at it. Bob and I have had numerous conversations with the district, and we've worked out an agreement that the district's going to vote on, and then we'll come to this board that'll allow our two SRPOs, obviously with the waiver issues, to remain at Van Buren and Eldon School, which is what everyone wants, and appreciate Attorney Baldwin's assistance in that. He's been invaluable there. And Jared Zapatello is at Durkee Junior High School, one of our officers, and he's been there for a couple of years now. And then Sergeant Chrissy Allen's up at the high school to start the school year. As obviously Officer Quattrini is not in any condition to work presently due to her with child status. So Chrissy's up there at the high school, and we've got a good team in place there to man the school campus, and things are off to a good start there. So other than that, unless there's questions, I would just stick with the agenda.
Okay.
I have a question that
Certainly.
I don't know if you will know the answer or not, but I was watching the evening news before coming, and the story, of course, about the tragedy down in Georgia, the school shooting.
Yeah.
They were talking about that the teachers in the district all have like a panic button, I guess, that's right on their school badge that they can press, and it automatically goes out to the district and to the local law enforcement. Obviously, it didn't stop the shooter, but may have prevented it from being any worse, because it alerted several teachers were able to press that button right away. Do you know if Eagle or any of the New York schools are looking at things like that?
We've been in discussions with the district about a host of things. Obviously now with their weapons detection system that they've installed that people have to pass through for the different events that are going on and for students to come into school. I'd have to talk to the superintendent as far as exactly what every teacher there has as far as that type of capability. But since certainly I've been the chief, there have been robust security enhancements throughout the district, which fortunately they have involved us in those conversations every step of the way with whether it be architecture, whether it be planning, whether it be more cameras, and then obviously the addition of now the weapon system detection that everyone goes through. So every year they are making more and more strides to do everything they can to keep students and staff and visitors safe there. They really are, and I have to give them a great deal of credit.
I thought this system sounded interesting because I would imagine it could be used if there was a medical emergency or something, that a teacher could press a button and someone would come running.
I will find that out. Actually, I'll message the superintendent while we're sitting here, and if I get an answer by the end of the meeting, I'll report back.
It sounds like the technology allowed them to locate to where the attack was occurring at the time by the teachers who touched the button. They knew whereabouts it was too. That was my sense of the technology of it.
Yeah, it's some of the training I've been to through the ICP. That technology exists with the geolocation of different things. And then there's also geo-mapping and GPS coordinate mapping for where they're located within a building. And then that information can be sent directly to first responders as well that might have that app on their phone or an in-car computer. So there's a lot of that type of technology that's out there. Obviously, it can be, cost prohibitive to some districts, and depending upon the size and scope and number of buildings and things. But I know that there's a lot out there. So I'll find out from him exactly what we have and report back. If it's not tonight, it'll be at a later point. Absolutely.
Any other questions? Then moving on to pending business. Motion to approving a proposed local law to amend section 242 specifying regulations for food trucks. I wasn't anticipating, it's up to you guys, any action on that this evening. We've got the winter to think about everything. I don't think it's a pressing issue at this point.
Take our time.
Also, Mayor, I'm meeting on Monday. The ZBA has no actual business before except going through some of these laws. So we're looking at a sign ordinance change, and then I'm going to discuss with them the food truck, which we'd mentioned at the last meeting. But this has been their first meeting since then. So
you'll get that meeting?
Yeah.
Could you mention the concerns that were brought to us by Mike Johnson, one of the property owners, about distances being specified within it?
yeah, I'll have to go back to PAC-B.
Yeah, okay.
I'll find it.
Or I can tell you.
No, it's okay. I've got some notes on that.
Okay.
Moving on to table that.
Need a motion.
I'll make a motion to table.
And I'll second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. No, I'm not going to make any comment on that. Moving on to new business. Could I have a motion to approve the latest version of the handbook that was updated on August 8th, 2024?
Make the motion.
So we second it for discussion.
There's still work to be done there, isn't there?
This specifically was with the policies that have to be reviewed, that's why it was sent to you, and adopted by the board. Not necessarily the
other
whole
stuff that we
handbook,
talked
but
about? Okay.
it's specific the policies. Covering which policy?
Sexual harassment,
Workplace violence.
Yeah,
workplace violence, that somebody has to do their
the cyber notification,
cyber notification, in case there's another COVID outbreak, what our procedures are. So all those were added to the handbook that we didn't have in there. But we didn't change any
probably
policies yet.
reviewed all those in the process of yeah. So that's what this is really about.
Okay.
There haven't been any other changes to the handbook. So. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I made the motion. I don't know who
Who's
seconded.
second?
I think I did.
You did?
She did. She did. Somebody did.
Okay, item B. Motion for the mayor to enter into the stormwater assistance agreement with the county of Onondaga and sign the conflict of interest form affidavit.
I'll make a motion.
You want any discussion on this? What is the conflict of interest affidavit? I forgot. I don't have any conflicts with the sewer.
I have it here. It's just their,
It's something they require.
yes.
You're not involved financially with anything.
Right. And I believe one of the major things with this is the educational component that the organization provides,
Yes.
which would cost us significant if we were on our own, but part of the coalition. We'll save money. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will sign that. Item C, motion to authorize the mayor and the chief of police to sign letters of support for the New York State Liquor Authority to issue a waiver of the liquor license requirements for Paper Mill Island to allow more than 4 events at the venue within the 2024 year, to allow the Taste of Beeville event to serve alcohol on September 21st, 2024.
Motion.
Second.
Any other discussion?
No?
Good with her. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item D, motion to accept the resignation of Roseanne Wicks effective September 3rd, 2024 from the Planning Board.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item E, motion to approve budget modifications as proposed in the document 2024-09-05, budget modifications for 2024-2025 budget. Thank you, Mark.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Or any questions before you vote for Mark? And then you already voted anyway. So. Okay.
You're off.
No questions.
Approved. Thank you. Item F, motion to authorize the credit card users as proposed in the document authorized credit card users.
Motion as long as we change the spelling.
Second.
I will give,
Eligible is
I will second
I will give the
the
clerk a
correction
corrected,
of Renee's make.
contingent.
my bad.
All in favor? Opposed?
All right.
Carried. Item G, discussion to ratify the vote for the memorandum of agreement between the Village of Baldwinsville and the Baldwinsville Police Benevolent Association. What's occurred is, since we're discussing this, Baldwinsville's moving from one insurance provider to another. We're moving to the Tompkins County Coalition. And part of this, we didn't want to reopen all kinds of negotiations, but the police and the village have come to an agreement on modifications to how insurance was handled. It should be a savings for the village. It will be a savings for some individuals in the police department. But one of the things it will do is put Baldwinsville on, keep them on a competitive level with other villages in terms of benefits applied. And so this is just a modification. This is with the PBA. We offered the exact same thing to the DPW union. I have not heard anything about ratifying anything. All I did hear was, to quote Adam, I talked to my mother-in-law, she said it was better and cheaper. So they were in favor of it.
Here, like an overall vote.
I believe they did, yes. I believe they voted to accept it.
But they don't have an Anthony to...
Complicate things?
There you go. Yeah, the unit agreed to it. Okay. So, we weren't going to vote on this because you guys didn't have time to really digest it.
I was told that we would have the hard copy for distribution by the end of this weekend. So that'll give you all next week to review it. I don't think it's anything different than we reviewed last time, with the exception of the added language for the insurance. But if you find something, please let me know. But be prepared to vote on it next meeting because it has to be done by then.
And Jody learned that Tompkins County Consortium, the rate is going to go up higher than what they had originally, when we first met with them, suggested. But still should remain a savings for the village. So, moving on to item H. A motion to, I'm going to let you make the motion.
All right, I would like to make a motion to reduce the sewer bill portion of the most recent water bill for the residents at 54 Brown Street due to water that was erroneously left on but did not go into the sewer. And so we're proposing a credit to the resident of $139.35.
I'll second it.
We've already discussed this, but are there any other questions?
Let's just make sure that it doesn't include who's playing for it.
It does not.
Okay, good. Nobody's pointing fingers?
Nope.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. That brings us to a conclusion of the business that we conduct here. So now we need a motion to adjourn into executive session.
Before we do that, Mayor, is that going to be, do we plan to take action out of the executive session?
No.
Okay, that's all.
Okay.
I'll make a
Yeah,
motion.
nobody seconded the motion.
I'll second it.
Our original first and seconders were sleeping on it.
No, he's to the end.
That's the Bill's audience.
Sorry.
Stay in your lane, dude.
You're on fire.
All in favor?
Eric, I think, somebody down.
No, I seconded it. I think we all seconded. There was a 3
Somebody-
seconds.
Collective second.
Whatever you write down, that's what.
Thank you for coming this evening.